Greetings and welcome to the 80 Level Roundtable podcast. In each episode, host Kirill Tokarev invites video game industry leaders to talk about the world of game development. No topic is off limits as long as it relates to video game development. New episodes are in the works, so remember to follow us or subscribe and share with someone you know will also enjoy the podcast.
Hi, and welcome to the 80 Level podcast, where we discuss the latest tech, games, and new ways of producing games. And today we have with us Aris Dragonis, who's
Hello.
who's a developer in a new exciting game. We actually did a couple of posts about your project, it seems, right, on 80 Level.
Yeah, it's been some time since the last time you made the post.
Yeah. So just to give you kind of like an intro, so I first saw the game where it was still like very much into the first, it seems, bits of production, right? When you did an environment, and it was like a very nice scene with some ocean, shore, right? And you could walk out a little bit about it, and we did talk mostly about that. But now it kind of grew into a separate project, right? And it's like a full-blown game. So, and I'm wondering if you could maybe start with a little introduction to us. Tell us where you're based, what do you do, and how did you get into game development?
Okay. So when I grew up, I was playing a lot of video games, and I decided to be a 3D character modeler for video games. That's when my journey started. So I had a lot of experience before I started making games. I was making characters for video games for like 10 years or so. So one time I started making this project because I was trying to test out my models, how they will look inside the Unreal Engine. And I made a post about it. It was basically in the start a fun project just to test my skills. And the people actually were excited what they saw. So I kept making it. So it's all I needed the motivation from the people to make this into a game because they liked it so much. That's why I kept making this project. The first time I started working on video games, it was at 2015. I was very young at my age. I worked as a freelance for many projects.
So what games have you worked on?
Oh, I have worked for so many games, I don't remember the names. The first game I worked was the Arms of Redemption. It was a Lovecraftian game. It's still in development. I've worked mostly for indie games. I never joined big companies because I wanted to be as a freelance and work anytime I like. I didn't want to work for big companies.
So, and where are you based currently? Are you in Europe?
Oh, yes, I'm in Europe, in Greece.
In Greece, okay. So tell us a little bit about the shore and how this whole idea kind of like came together, right? Because you mentioned that it started more like an experiment in environment and with some 3D models and stuff. But how did you decide to turn it into like a full-blown game?
Okay,
what is like the main idea behind it?
Yeah. The first time I got inspiration when I visited the Greek island Santorini. It's a famous island, and there is a place called the Lighthouse Acrotiri, which is almost the same place as it is inside the game. And when I visited that place, I had a lot of imagination, and I thought, wow, how cool it would be if there was a monster coming out of the sea. So I made this for fun in the beginning, and I got inspired by a lot of movies. So I tried to implement all that inspiration into the project I made. The first time I did some screens. I took some screenshots from inside the game. I made some posts on the Facebook, and the people liked it a lot. So they asked me to make this into a game. So I kept going, and here I am now.
So tell us a little bit about the game. So how do you see it? Is it fully? Do you fully understand like what kind of like genre it's gonna be? What kind of mechanics do you want to implement, or are you still searching for that? And just overall, like, what's your plan and how are you actually gonna play it? What's the gameplay gonna be?
Okay, basically the game is story-driven horror mystery. It has exploration in the game. There's a lot of exploration while you follow the story. It's almost, the game is almost complete by now. There are a few steps left, a few events left to complete the game. So basically, you are a character, the main protagonist, and you end up as a castaway on the island, and you have to find your lost daughter because you got shipwrecked close by the island. So your whole point, your goal is to find back your daughter. But you discover in the process some mystery things that happened on that island that almost has to do something with you, with your past, and the player discovers a lot of mysteries. You have to face creatures. Uh, the whole story is based on the Lovecraftian mythos, but the story, I wrote down that story just for the game. So it has its own unique story based on the Lovecraftian mythology.
So you mentioned that like Lovecraftian stories and ideas, they play a big part of your like in the production and the story, and I think the visual language as well of the project. I'm wondering if you could kind of name what are like the key things, key ideas from this mythos and maybe from outside of it, like from science fiction and everywhere, that kind of tie the game together. You know what I mean, right? So what are like the core ideas that you put inside the game that you think will keep the player hooked to kind of learn more about what's going on there and to get more into like the story and the world and so on. I think it's super important when you're doing a game about exploration that the user be kind of like engrossed in into this world, and for that you do need to have like some kind of hooks that you draw the player in. So one of the hooks is obviously the like mythology of Lovecraft, but maybe there are some other ideas and things that you think would keep the players going.
Okay, my first vision was the aesthetics of the visuals to be very friendly to the eye. The second thing was that there's a lot of moments inside the game that will leave you speechless because you don't expect that for something to happen, and almost most of the scenes are cinematic like, which will hook the player into into that experience. The story is strong. It has a very strong twist, and everything inside the game includes a lot of Lovecraftian entities that will give the opportunity to the player to learn about these things because many of the players don't know about too much about Lovecraft. So the game will teach you that, will give you a lot of info about these entities, where do they come from, what purpose do they have in this world, and as you unravel the mysteries from inside, from while you play, you discover a lot of stuff from these creatures.
I got it. So let's talk about production. So can you tell us about how is work on the game currently organized? How big is your team? What are the main tools that you're using for the production?
Okay, as a 3D character modeler, I create everything visually in the game. I create them by myself. So I create the monsters, the animations, the environment, textures, everything. Everything is my own work. And now I have a programmer with me. He works on the events, on the blueprints, on the mechanics inside the game. So most basically, we are two people, but I have three sound designers. They make the sounds, the soundtracks. I have a famous sound artist from the team that works on the big films like Star Wars, Avatar, and many other big titles so far. I have a friend who does all the marketing, and I have a famous voice actor who is his name is Brandon. He worked on many big titles. So far, we are working we work very nice. There is no problem amongst us. We didn't encounter any problem so far. The whole team is very they enjoy this project. They do it mostly on their free time. But I made the last month I made a successful campaign. I made a few funds from there just to keep my programmer working, so he doesn't have to focus on outside works.
So you mentioned you did a campaign. So did you go on Kickstarter to do that? How was that experience in crowdfunding?
Since I come from Greece, there was a problem with Kickstart. I had to go with a French site that's European. But my main goal wasn't to earn a lot of money. My main goal was to earn enough money to pay my programmer. So I used Ululu, it's a French site for campaigns. But in the future, I might run a Kickstart since Greece now is available for Kickstart. I might run a Kickstart in the future for VR, multiplayer, survival mode, and yeah, we want to explore the game into much more possibilities.
So to return to the previous question, so what are like the main tools that you're using? Why did you decide to go with Unreal Engine, and how is like the financial side? How is the financial side working with Unreal Engine, right? So you're building a game with Unreal Engine 4, and there's some kind of like a royalty fee and commissions that you have to pay from the game when you ship it. Have you looked into it, and how does it work?
Oh yes, Unreal Engine now has changed their plans. If you earn more than 1 million revenue, then you pay the 5% of your revenue to them. So far, we had no problems with that kind of stuff because since Unreal Engine is for free.
Right, so you don't expect that you're gonna be paying the 5% fee after you earn like $1 million in revenue. So I don't think I mean, I'm not sure, like, but do you aim to sell more copies, like to earn $1 million, or do you think it's gonna be like more an indie project that's not gonna be like a huge commercial success?
I'm not sure about that, but so far we have a lot of people that want to play the game. So in case I will reach over 1 million revenue, yeah, I will of course pay the 5% to Unreal Engine.
And how do you actually structure the whole production in this kind of like COVID situation where you don't have an office and you have to kind of coordinate with a lot of different people? Is it in any way challenging to you? Do you have to have like extra systems in work? Or do you use like Jira or some other tracking mechanisms or systems? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I will. Okay, so actually, when the lockdowns happened, actually it worked in our favor because we spent a lot of time in front of our computers, and we actually finished the demo in 1 month because we was We were every day on the computers working. We are using I and my programmer. We are using the OneDrive, so we share the game at the same time. So if he makes one change in the game, we'll have that change instantly on my computer, on my project.
I got you. And have you been approached by any investors or people willing to publish the game?
Oh yes, recently I've got like at least 15 people, 15 publishers trying to publish my game. But I want to grow. If the store becomes successful, I want to grow and be my own company and make more games myself. So that's my main goal.
You don't want to partner with a publisher currently, or
No, no.
Don't want to partner with publishers at all?
It's not in my big interest to be partnered with other publishers because I want to do something myself.
So tell us then about how do you plan to market and promote the game? I think for an indie publisher, it seems it is one of the most challenging aspects of the whole process. So what's your take on it?
Correct. Marketing is the other half of how successful the game is. You may have the best game, but if you don't have good marketing, the game will not be that successful. So for that, I have my friend is a good marketeer. He used to work for video games, so he knows the right people, he knows the right page, the correct websites. So far, he does an amazing work on that. We had over 5 million views on YouTube. We had over 10,000 downloads on Itch.io from the demo.
Are you kidding me? You had 5 million views on YouTube.
Yeah, correct.
That's
ITB played the demo, Holo. Actually, the video of the demo was the only video that reached 2 million views in 1 month. It was one of the top videos.
That's incredible. So yeah, I mean, you just hire a person who's been working in this field for a while, and then you're just kind of using his expertise to promote the game and so on. But have you considered maybe you need some additional marketing budget to work with, or are there any other like investments that you require to put your game into like a magazine? I don't know, like stuff like that.
So far, we got sponsored by Razer, and I spoke with the minister of Greece too. We had a lot of people supporting us lately, which works in our favor, and we are using key mailers, so they will send the game once it's released to many famous YouTubers. We have a lot of ways to promote our game in the correct way.
I think it was like my second question is that since you're doing promotion, you kind of have to work with influencers and streamers and all that kind of audience, and you're using Keymailer basically to kind of cover that and just work and figure out if it being picked up and so on.
Yeah. Also myself, I do some posts on Reddit, on Facebook. Sometimes my post on Reddit reads like 30,000 in a matter of 2 hours. Yeah, people like a lot what they're seeing.
Why do you think there is such a huge kind of interest? I mean just to be clear, I mean the numbers that you're saying are, I mean, very high, right? So to get something on Reddit and to get like 30,000 views in a number of hours, that's kind of a big deal. And getting like 2 million views on one video on YouTube, that's crazy, right? So a lot of people work for years to just get their whole YouTube channel for like to get 2,000 to 2 million views, right? And so what do you think is the secret of that? Maybe it's just the Lovecraftian theme, because it seems like everybody loves the author and his world. Maybe it's just the visual style of it, because uh,
Okay, I
when
will answer that.
when I was attracted to the game, when I first saw the game, I was kind of like instantly hooked with the atmosphere, right? So the atmosphere of the shots and the way that like everything is kind of structured and layered out, and the lighthouse and all that stuff. It kind of makes you go and explore, right? But I wouldn't expect this to resonate with so many people and to get such incredible attraction on social media.
I see. The first thing is the visuals. Uh, what I'm doing, I love what I'm doing. That's why when I'm making something, I want to look spectacular. I want to player to feel amazed when they see the environment. That's the most important thing at first. The visuals play an important role. If the visuals are friendly to the eyes, the players, the audience is instantly hooked because the visuals inside the game are very moody. They they make you feel that the environment it's real, it's alive. That's the most important thing.
Do you think this also helps you get kind of the support that you're getting in terms of financials? Because I know that you guys got like an Epic mega grant. Um, how did the Epic actually approach you, and how did you get the money from them?
Okay, one time one friend told me, "Why don't you apply for mega grants?" Okay, I'm gonna check that. I said. So I went to their site and I saw the mega grant program.
Uh-huh.
So I made an apply to them. I gave them the demo. I gave them screenshots. I gave them videos from YouTube that other players played. So I showed them that, hey guys, the video game is getting quite viral. People love it so far. So if you are willing to help him, that will be a great help to me because financial in Greece it's a little hard. So yeah, the money they've sent me, it's gonna help me make the game a little much better because I will hire an animator to work on better animations for the monsters while I will focus on other things. I will pay my programmer, my voice actor. So yeah, that helped me a lot.
So, and with the mega grant, you don't need to give it back, right? So it's just like
Yeah, that's extra help because they want to support your game to make it better.
mm. So you mentioned at the beginning of our talk that the game is almost ready, right? So the main parts of it are ready. So how much more time do you need to kind of finish the things out and turn it into production?
uh, 2 months to complete all of the events. But after that, we will go into policing stage. Yeah, we will grab each event and we will say, how do we make this event better? Okay, we can add these sounds. We can make a little better the animation here. So yeah, that will take another month or two just to polish and have a perfect ready game. We are not very Yeah, we take our time just to be sure that everything will be okay for the player.
And how do you plan to kind of distribute and sell the title? Do you want to go just on Steam? Do you want to sell from your own website? I'm asking this because you have quite a large following on Facebook, and you have a large following obviously on YouTube and Reddit. So you can get basically a lot of sales from that. So I'm interested in your strategy and how do you want to kind of promote the game and sell it?
At the moment, we have a very strong fan base. Like when I make a post on a group that they don't know the game, they actually, most of the people already know it, or they have seen it from a gameplay video from YouTube. So the game exists in their subconscious. Most of the people, like 60% of the gamers already have seen it. And some of them have already wishlisted the game on Steam, which is good. Which is good because there is a lot of support from the game community. And after that, by the release, by the time that comes to release the game, yeah, we will use key mailers and other sites similar to key mailers. We will make posts on Reddit, and we will make we will work on a very awesome trailer. For that, I have my friend Poland, who works on Star Wars, on Avatar, on Avengers. He worked on many big titles. He will take care of the trailer to be sure that it's going to be epic.
And what is the platform that you think works best for sales of this game? So do you want to go on Epic Store, or do you want to go on Steam, or like what's the good place to kind of start selling your project?
Well, at the moment, we are heading for Steam and Epic Games. We will use both of these platforms to sell the game. And basically, yeah, we'll use more external sites that can sell the game.
Mm-hmm. So you still are kind of relying on the classical ways of distribution, right? But you're using your own, fan base and your own following to kind of generate more sales. Aren't you afraid of a big chunk of revenue that Steam takes from the sales, right? Because they are taking a lot, it seems.
Yeah, that's true. But we are not worrying about that too much because we have calculated everything. So we have a certain price for the game, and we have calculated how much percent Steam will keep from the sales. We are not worrying too much about that because the Steam has a lot of audience. So the 30% will not affect us too much.
Yeah, and I think it's not 30% anymore. I think they lowered it, but just for some games, which was larger revenues. And I guess the final question, which everybody's kind of interested in, is when do you think you're going to release the title? Do you aim for this year or next year? So
it's either by the end of this year or at the beginning of the next year. So we are around that. We are around there.
All right, cool. Well, first of all, I want to wish you all the luck. I hope it works out, and I think you're doing an amazing thing, and just the best of luck. And I wish you great sales and great launch, and finishing everything on time and make sure everything works.
Thank you, Kirill.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining the podcast today. Thanks.
Thank you too. It's my honor. Thank you, my friend.
Thanks.
Thanks for enjoying another episode of the 80 Level Roundtable podcast. Check out upcoming episodes on the 80 Level website at 80.lv. Join our career site at 80.lv/RFP. And share our podcast with friends and on your social networks.